terrified.
We thought we never see the day.
Never, not him.
None of my boys thought I would ever get married.
To see him married is a whole nother level.
They asked me, you sure? I was like, yeah. I told them I was the happiest man in the world. They couldn't believe it. But this Creole woman had me from jump, and I was only doing this once. And if I was doing it once, I was jumping out the window. Old school style. That was then, this is now. Well, let me go back for a second. I was known for working. I co-starred on the daytime Emmy-nominated In the Zone on Fox. I starred in television commercials for IBM, Popeyes, Coca-Cola, Miller Lite, and McDonald's. I worked with Jack Black, Run DMC and Jam Master Jay, Alyssa Milano, LL Cool J, Don Johnson, Anthony Anderson, Shakira, and Alec Baldwin. And I was about to lose it all. I was divorcing my wife, the attorney, and she showed no mercy. Lawyer fees alone were approaching $100,000, and I was flat broke. Then I remembered what I was fighting for.
Mr. McGregor, I see you, petitioner, and respondent, are prepared to finalize your divorce. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this the agreement you wish the court to enter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. McGregor, did you have a chance to consult with your counsel about each of these terms?
Yes, Your Honor. Who would have thought that the happiest day of my life would turn into a total nightmare? I heard Dr. Phil say, you divorced a totally different person than who you marry. How could such a happy relationship turn into a 4-year drag-out divorce? This is where my journey to try and understand women begins.
If I never dated another day in my life, I've lived the life of 5 women.
I know exactly like what I want.
I knew I was a lesbian my entire life.
I am a strong, independent, black, single woman.
I actually think I'm kind of shady.
You think they love pussy?
I have no trouble meeting men.
I want a relationship.
I prefer usually dating an older man.
I've never cheated.
I'm good at reviving. I'm excellent at reviving.
I usually attract the owner of the company.
I'm 25 now and I'm having a quarter-life crisis.
I absolutely know that me having a relationship, that part of my life is over.
If you're single, independent, and you love how you live, throw your hands up. Single lady. If you're not trying to be the wife, you just want it for one night, throw your hands up.
Single lady. No pressure, having a good time. If you fit the bill, tonight you could be mine. I'm a lady and it's crazy, put it on the line. I decide who I let in this heart of mine.
If you're single, independent, and you love how you live, throw your hands up.
Single lady.
If you're not trying to be the wife, you just want it for one night, throw your hands up.
Single lady.
If you're not asking for a thing, cause you got your own change, throw your hands up.
Single lady.
Throw your hands up.
Single lady.
Throw your hands up.
Single lady.
Zoom to Thailand, Richard Mack in the building. Good morning.
What's up, Mr. Bet Out of Debt? How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so happy to have you on the show. A lot of us YouTube content creators, man, we respect your work so much, man. Your videos, your content is like no other. The lead attorney shouts you out. All of the YouTube channels shout you out. Man, welcome to the Bet Out of Debt show. We just had that incredible entrance. How does a middle-aged man decide to pick up and leave Hollywood and move to Thailand? Was it really that easy? And what was that opening all about?
First of all, who you calling middle-aged? Oh, man. You know, it's hard to feel like, but I guess I am middle-aged, man. I'm getting up there in age, man. But, man, I got to be honest, man. People tell me all the time, man, you so smart, man. You got out the matrix. You left just in time. And, you just such a genius for Lewin and you in Thailand. Man, it was all on accident, bro. I was Gilligan. It was Gilligan's Island, bro. I had no idea I was going to be moving to Thailand. If I knew, I would have threw a big old goodbye party and had all my little friends and Hollywood friends and family. I would have made it a big deal if I knew, but I was just going to look at property to expand my Airbnb business. So I went to Thailand twice that year. I went in July the first time, loved it. Went in November the second time. started like feeling around the Philippines and Thailand, seeing where I wanted what I wanted to do. I started finding properties. And then the third time when I came back in March of 2020, February I got to the Philippines. In March of 2020, I was supposed to go to Cambodia and Vietnam and really like check that Southeast Asia leg out and see like, you know, what felt like home. And then the thing hit, the beer virus hit. And then I was like, you know, just like remember when they had what was the African virus thing that everybody was scared walking around with asthma?
Yeah.
They called it the African flu. What was it? I don't remember.
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, whatever that was. I was like, all right, this is gonna be quick. This will blow over, man. I'll chill here till it blows over. And it never blew over. And I never left. And I wish I'd known what I know now, because had I known I was going to be there, I would have started Zoom to Thailand a year ago and really got in when the pandemic, when people weren't going out and people were really, really paying attention to a lot of stuff. Like, you know, now people are going out again. It's not as congested in terms of what people are watching. But yeah, that's what happened. It was all on accident. I can't take the credit for it, but that's God though. You know what I mean? Because I give God the credit, because I couldn't have figured this out, man. It just, everything worked out. You know, I did a loan modification on my house right on time. I was doing that to invest to buy properties. And so between that and, you know, my little residual checks, you know, and a little bit of money I had saved up, I was able to make the transition, you know?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit, but go ahead.
Oh no, that was it. I'm saying I unknowingly made that transition. You know what I mean? I did not realize, but it's so much cheaper to live. It's 3 times cheaper than LA. You know what I mean? Maybe even 5 times cheaper, depending on your lifestyle. So, you know, it wasn't a hard the hardest transition was, you know, my family, my dog, like, because I literally was just going for a month, come back, catch my daughter's graduation, high school graduation, and then I was going to start traveling the world. But, you know, obviously my daughter didn't have a graduation because of the beer virus. So I was like, well, what am I coming back for? You know what I mean? My baby don't get to get her graduation. So, you know, and I'm not getting on no plane when I don't know what's going on, sitting on that plane for 17 hours going through, you know, all those foreign countries and just risking catching it. I'm like, nah, I'm going to sit here and stay put like Kizzy. I said, I'll stay here. So that's how that went.
So your YouTube channel talks about that experience. I want you to talk about your YouTube channel, Zoom to Thailand, and as well as you have another channel, the Richard Mack channel, which I have been on. Tell us more about that channel and what people can expect when they come over. And if my moderator, if you can drop the Zoom to Thailand link, I would appreciate it.
Zoom to Thailand is the fastest growing travel podcast in Thailand. Like we've grown faster than, you know, anyone at this point right now. Of course, there's channels that are bigger than me. There's channels that have been there before me, and I give it up to them. You know, Chocolate Man in Thailand, he's been doing his thing. Give it up to him. He came on the show as well, man. Very cooperative guy. Rides for kicks. There's a bunch of guys that came before me that I watched, you know, before coming to Thailand. You know, Skylar at Think Smart Financials, like all these people I started watching just when I was traveling, just trying to figure out what was going on. So those guys were instrumental to just inspiring me to show that I could do it. My only issue was I just wanted to do it a little bit different than everybody else so I could carve out my own lane. I just wanted my own lane. I don't want nobody saying I'm copying them. I don't want nobody saying I'm anything. I'm just doing me. So that's what it was. So Zoom to Thailand is basically it's a travel podcast showing people, especially brothers, but everybody, we love everybody, that you don't have to settle, man. You don't have to settle for the BS going on in the US. You don't have to deal with the all of the craziness that's going on, man. You got people in different countries around the world. You don't just have to go to Thailand. You can go just about anywhere in the world and you'll get way more love and respect than we do at home in America, which is insane to me. But yeah, so that's what that's about. And it's fun. So what I love about Zoom to Thailand also is that I get to do everything the way I see it. See, working in Hollywood, you got to work by a certain structure. You got to have, you know, you have yes people, you have no people, you have people you got to answer to, you got deadlines. There's a lot of, you know, corporate BS that with people that really don't know what's going on telling you how to do something. With Zoom to Thailand, I get to do it exactly the way I want it. You know what I mean? I write it, I produce it, I edit it. Shout out to Vitaly. Vitaly's my right hand man. That guy, like, if it wasn't for him, I'd really episodes. They used to take like 2-3 weeks for me to do an episode. Now that with Vitaly, I can get it done in like a week, sometimes less. Man, he really helps me. He does the thumbnails, all the technical stuff. He does the Patreon. My Patreon's doing really well too, man. I got a lot of support there, man. Shout out to my Patreon members. It's a good situation. And then Richie Mack channel. It's just a live channel like we're going to be on in a couple hours on the Richie Mack Live, just for people to come up and talk and live. It's almost like a party. Like I'm just letting people, smaller channels, come up and live and just talk. I got this from Lee, man. I watched how generous he's been with his channel and always shouting people out, always shouting me out. Shout out Lee. That's how I found out about you, Bet.
Yep.
Hearing Lee talk about you.
Yeah.
Man. Lee is just like, so, I told him on his stream, after the passing of Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, I said, he got to carry the torch. You know what I mean? You got Lee, you got MTR, and you got Andre, Love Crossing Borders, like, and a couple other people. But it's going to take a group of people to try to replace, and you can never replace Kevin Samuels, obviously. But, but Lee is in the forefront of that, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy. He showed me a whole different way of how to approach this YouTube streets, because especially with us black people with YouTube, we always want to hate and we want to knock down somebody's channel or talk mess about somebody's channel or troll some. I'm not saying other people don't do it, but we probably the best at doing that. You know what I mean? Just always hating. We mastered that. So you know what I mean? But he showed, because he shows you how much money he makes. He shows you who he's working with. He's up front with everything. He lets you know about hitting a moose. Like he showed
hitting a moose. That was a funny episode.
I mean, he's like Eminem. I am white, and I do live in a trailer park, and I do like he took that power away from people that might want to looks for some dirt or whatever. He'll bring it right to you, and he's open and he's honest, and he's giving me several shout outs. You know what I mean? And he's just, I learned that we work stronger together. So that's always my message, man. That's why I wanted to come on here with you and say my little thing and talk my stuff, because I got to give you your flowers, man. It's like, people speak. There's a lot of people that talk, but actions are different than talking. And you dropped me a $300 chat or whatever. I forgot, was it a super chat, Bet? What was it? It was
a super chat.
You got me a $300. I have never had a $300 super chat. Now my man Big Boss, he's seen them. You know what I mean? But I've never seen a $300 super chat, and I was just so honored, man, that the fact that you would show me love like that. I know you was part of the Patreon for a minute, and I lost you, and I didn't know why. I'm like, man, did I lose? Because I can see if I lose people and how many I gain. I mean, I don't lose a lot, but when I do it, I try to see, is there something I did, or is it just...
No, it wasn't nothing you did. It was just that the editing was just, I was like, we could talk off camera about it, but it was nothing that you did.
Okay.
And that's why I hit you with the super chat, just to show you love, but it was nothing you did. And I repaid you with that.
Yes, you did, brother. And I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that. That really, really, really helps out a lot. Appreciate that.
And we got to support our content creators. And I know before we start getting into the Thailand, how you afford to live over there and your investments and stuff, you and I, we share a common thread, and that's where we get our music from. And
yes.
So can people need to know about Big Bazz. Big Bazz.
Who? What's his name?
Big Bazz.
Big Bazz? Is that what you said? Big Bazz.
You know what I said. Big
Bazz. Yes.
That's our guy. And Big
Bazz.
Oh,
you trying to steal Big Bazz? Did you say Arg? No, that's my guy.
That's your guy that you sent to me.
And do you our guy? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Have you stolen Big Bazz from me? See, I was worried about Big Bazz, me losing Big Bazz, because he's such a talent. He's such a strong and a good guy too, man. It's like, and I will share him with you, because he's a blessing for everybody, man. Big Bazz, man, like that dude came out of nowhere. I'm not sure exactly which episode he saw. I think it was the Willie D, when Willie D was talking, I guess because he's familiar, he knows people and work with people, and he's in Texas and all that stuff. And he just shot me this song, man, and I was like, wow.
Can I play that song he shot you?
Man, anytime, man. Come on, man.
Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you, but go ahead.
Well, let me just set it up for you, then you can play it. So what happened was, like, people most of the time, man, and I'm not trying to bust people's bubbles, but I would really say 80 to 90% of the time people send you music is usually whack, like, generally speaking, because everybody likes their music because they made it and they know what they put into it and all that stuff. But most of the time it's not, at least not for the level of stuff that I'm trying to do. I don't never discourage anyone from chasing their dream, and you should, but it's a certain level that I gotta have. And Big Bazz, man, he sent me that song, and he sent me a bunch of other stuff too, but I wasn't getting the emails because that's the time with the quote viral. I don't call it viral, but you know, when everything was going crazy, resumed to Thailand, and he was sending people were sending me messages. I couldn't get back to everybody, but somehow that got through. And I heard that song, and when he said, Richie, Mac, overseas, that's the
No,
channel.
I gotta drop it. I gotta drop it. Your intro is so fire. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because for those of you guys who are content creators in YouTube land, or even just need custom music for your site, Big Bazz, he's hooking people up. He's just reestablishing himself. And he's taking donations. I dropped him a little donation, so he's so talented. And I think Bass might be in the chat, but let me drop what you're talking about, because your intro, Big Bazz, is fire. Check this out, guys.
Keep asking me for the Big Bazz remix.
Richie Mac, Travel OG.
If you guys want fire music, make sure to follow me on YouTube as well.
Let's get it.
Lega.
I just wanna zoom out to Thailand. Once my flight land, then I turn it into my land. I'm a Thai fan. Richie Mac, I'm arriving. Once I hit Pattaya, got bands, I'ma dive in. On the golf course, I'ma use my 9-9. She love chocolate, watch her walk it, cause she fine. She 5'1", in them heels like she 5'9". Hit subscribe, going live, 9999. Richie Mac, overseas, that's that travel OG. Pay a visit when you can. Wanna zoom to Thailand?
I'll just do that portion of it. It goes on and on.
Man, let me tell you something funny about that. It's like when I heard that song, I immediately stopped what I was doing and made that edit. Like his music made me like I got to tell the story to what he's saying and what it is. And luckily, you know, and he's such a team player. You know what I mean? Like he, you know, I was like, dude, I need to see. I need you to just give me a video of you just performing the song. You know what I mean? And that's how I got to add him in there, because, you know, I try to show love by supporting each other and helping each other and doing what we can, man. So I wanted people to identify the face with the name and the beard. The beard is legendary. You know what I mean? The beard, absolutely. No cap. No, that ain't no Santa Claus. That's all him. You know what I mean? So, you know, big, he's just such a humble person. He's like, him and I are a lot alike in terms of, like, we have all this love and talent to give to the world because we suppress. Because a lot of times we be around people, our peers that might be higher up, but they might not really, you know, they ain't gonna do nothing to hurt you, but they ain't gonna do nothing to help you either. And that's the problem I have with a lot of things about Hollywood is, like, you know, I know a lot of people, but in terms of getting together and doing something, it's really, really hard to get brothers on the same page, man. It's really, really hard. So I made it a point, like, if I can shine, I'm gonna try to let everybody else shine that deserves to shine. You know what I mean? He definitely deserves it. So shout out to Big Bazz if he out there.
Shout out to Big Bazz. And even in your opening, I noticed, like, when we opened the show, for those who may not have been here, you had Shamar Moore and all of these celebrities, dude. Up in, you know a lot of celebrities, like A-list.
Yeah. That's because I'm D-list. You know, D-list hangs out with me.
You're funny. Look, let me. I'm not sure if the lead attorney is watching, because the lead attorney is a friend of the show. He does pop up occasionally. I saw Big Bazz just drop something this week, a little tribute to the lead attorney. Check this out before we go into the Thailand stuff. Check this out.
Okay, let's see what.
my home state, my hometown, Atlanta, Georgia. Good. It is going down in the ATL. Do you hear me?
Got a little problem, little baby mama drama, and you need a legal counsel. All you gotta do is call Lee.
What they say, like, Lee just can't keep a black woman happy, boy. He can't do it.
Courtroom to the streets, YouTube. We can meet, tune in there weekly. The turning, but the homies call him lead.
Struggle streaming already. Man, come to Atlanta if you want to.
ATL Georgia, we done that. We don't just follow, we run that. You like it, I give it, then come back. Kick it off like a Sunday, they run back. The haters don't believe, so I leave. Please, success it comes with hate, gotta achieve. Please, nothing ever stop, you gotta leave. Please, learn me lead, attorney, call me lead. Please, the haters don't believe, so I leave. Please, success it comes with hate, gotta achieve. Please, nothing ever stop, you gotta leave. Please, learn me lead, attorney, call me lead. Please.
Come on down. Come on down.
We done that.
You'll be lucky if your windows just get busted out. You'll be lucky.
Yeah, that's Big Bazz. No, look. You helped me get a new intro through Big Bazz, our connect. Once I drop you that super chat, you blessed me with Big Bazz. Check out the new Bat Out of Debt that Big Bazz did for this channel.
That thing is fire. Wait, before we go there, let me just talk about that thing he did on Lee. Let me tell you another secret about Big Bazz. He probably don't want me to tell nobody. But Big Bazz is like me. He's like a perfectionist. I know him. He probably went over that thing about 25,000 times and changed it and did something. I can make it better. He's always striving to be better. So I guarantee you, whatever we just saw, it was a whole story behind how we got there, man. That dude goes all the way in. Like, it might be different. By the time we get off this live stream, he might have did a whole different edit.
Man, he got like hundreds of songs, and his style is so versatile. So when we talked, I said, I'm from Virginia, so I want something like Pharrell, the Clips type of vibe. So see if Big Bazz can hook something up for me. That's all I said. I didn't say anything else. So guys, if you need something for your YouTube channel, just custom music for your website, check out what Big Bazz did for me. Check this out, my new intro.
Cash move everything around me. Bet I'm surrounded by sharks, so try not to get wet. Your finances are gone, the more you are a threat. The more money you get, the more you should invest. I'm black on my neck, back on my ship, back on my grind till the sun start to eclipse. Credit score check, debit amount check. High risk success, bet I'm out of debt.
Big Bazz. Crazy.
See what I'm saying? And everything he's going to do is going to be different. He has one for Big Boss, and it's a totally different one. He can switch styles like,
Yeah.
Like flavors, man. That dude, yeah. And he won't stop until it's right, until you're happy. Yeah, he's definitely YouTube's best kept secret. Clip that.
Yeah, so reach out.
YouTube's best kept secret.
Best kept secret, taking donations to drop beats like that, and by donation, and God dang it, yeah. Before he goes way up in price,
I was just about to say, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah, so reach out to Big Bazz. We're both good friends of his, and we want to support him, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. I want you guys to get the likes up if you like the content. We're gonna go into how do you afford to live over in Thailand. Let's talk about how you do it. How are people like yourself who are not retired but generating income. I know you have income generating sources like Airbnb and other investments. So Rich Mac, let's talk about the Airbnb business first. I know you manage properties. Tell us about your overall experiences and being an Airbnb host and how you can afford to do what you do.
I've been doing Airbnb since 2015, 2014, something like that. I think 2015. A friend of mine, Heidi, she told me I was going through it, man. I had a horrible tenant story, man. I had Andy Griffith's grandson. You know Andy?
Yeah, Andy Griffith. Yeah.
His grandson was a trust fund baby. And man, they gave me the whole hype, man. My credit's not good, but I get paid out of my trust every month, and I'll pay you like 4 or 5 months in advance. Now, what homeowner on a rental ain't gonna take 4 or 5 months in advance? So I took the deal, and in my house, and man, that dude, man, allegedly, because I don't want to get sued. His grandpa was Matlock, and I don't want to get sued. Allegedly tore my whole house up. Just every. Dogs chewed on the foundation, on the walls, and the doors. It was some shit. You would think it was like one of them science fiction movies by the time they got done with my house, man. So I vowed never to rent again. Like I'm like I can't do this. This is not the move. And so my friend Heidi hooked me up with Airbnb, and I heard about it, but it's hard to believe that you can make real money like renting your house. Like it's hard to believe, but yeah, man. I took my house is broken up into sections, so I have a main house, and then I had a garage that was converted into a guest house, and then I had a basement in my house when I bought my house as well, which houses in California don't usually have basements, which is what made me buy the house. So right there I had 3 units. So I would rent out one and fix up the other one, and rent out the other one and fix up this one, and then get them two rented, and that kind of thing. It was a process. But after I got rolling, it was a bread and butter situation, man. So, I kind of like stopped acting as much. I kind of lost the interest of it, man. I wanted to direct and create stuff. That's why I like YouTube. I'm able to create, writing scripts and doing documentaries like the thing you showed in the beginning. It's a documentary I did called Still Single, A Divorced Man's Journey to Understanding Women. So I was on this journey way before all this stuff happened. People think a lot of people think I'm following the trend of YouTube. It's like, I have a YouTube channel called the Nappy Network that I've been doing since 2006. So I've been up on the game. I was just so far ahead of the curve. I didn't take YouTube seriously. They wasn't paying back then. You could play whatever song you want, curse, do whatever you want back when I was doing it. So I never took it seriously. And by the time I really figured out what was going on when I was in Thailand, I'm like, shit, there's a lot of money to be made here. So now I'm kind of like catching up to the pack that I was, years ahead of. So, make a long story short, man, the Airbnb thing has just been my bread and butter. It's been a great situation. It's carried me through all the time. So a lot of actors like wait tables and do stuff in between gigs. God, by the grace of God, I never had to do that. I was a big club promoter in LA. Me and Bentley Evans, the creator of the Jamie Foxx show, and Martin and all that. He didn't create Martin, he created the Jamie Foxx show. My boy Derek Pipkin, he got a big thing going on in Cabo right now called Pips. General Lee and Fred Loke, the best DJ MC team. We ran LA for 10 years. Like we ran LA. So we had a nice little run, but I've always found ways by the grace of God to be able to, supplement income outside of acting. And so basically the Thailand thing, it wasn't that big of a stretch because it's cheaper. You know what I mean? It's cheaper to live in Thailand than it is LA. The only thing I had to worry about was maintaining 2 households. I have to have LA because that's the bread and butter, but then I had to live in Thailand. And so that was part of the reason I started my YouTube. I was like, well, you know what? Everybody got a YouTube channel, but everybody ain't in Thailand. So that's when I said, okay, that's my lane right there. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Ain't nobody else in this lane. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I interrupted you. We had a lag, but it just leads into what I was about to ask. What are some of the best practices from being an Airbnb host? What are some of the best practices of that?
The best practice is to be clean. I mean, that's the first thing. That's super, super important, man, because you get reviewed, you get Yelps, you get write-ups. I'm a super host, fortunately. It's not easy being a super host because once you become a super host, you don't just become a super host and you ride till the wheels fall off. They reevaluate you every 3 months. So, I have lost my super host status at least once or twice in this 7-year run I've been doing it. So, not because it wasn't clean, but it's just it's 5 different things. It's cleanliness, it's accommodations, it's accuracy of your place, it's the prices you charge. They take all that into a 5-star system. So, somebody might give me I got a lady, man, that she gave me the review from hell. It was like, and I made sure it's like, because I'm a very pretty personable guy. So I make sure, I walk them in, I walk them around. Is everything good? Yeah, it's great. I check on them while they're here during their stay. You good? Is there anything? Yeah, everything's great. Cool. Man, she told me up, man. She said it was the I forgot what she said. I mean, this was about 5 years ago. That's why I learned my lesson. She like, what did she say? Like the floors were so dirty that the white socks turned brown. Like, I mean, she like went in. Like, I'm like, all of this stuff. I'm like, I just there. She said, she said the code, because I do codes. I don't do keys. I do codes. So I've always been doing codes. Like, the codes haven't been changed. I'm like, man, how do you know if the code? I change the codes after every visit. So it's all these different things that she had like conjured up, and but I had to pay for that. I got, because it threw my rankings up. And sometimes people do it just to mess with you. They might want a refund or something, and you say, I'm not giving you a refund, or you might give a refund. Just depends on what the reasons are. But if you don't do what they want, they know they can get you with that review and mess you up. So the main thing I'd say is keep it clean. Always be consistent. Make sure you screen your people. And when you start your Airbnb, man, be very reasonable with your prices, so people are getting more for their money, so they'll book your stuff up, because you have to have so many people stay at your place for you to get ranked. So just do that, man. Just be on the up and up, you know what I mean? And just keep everything great, and make it like a house that you would want to be at, or apartment or condo. Like, what would I want? I know I need Wi-Fi. I know I need, the soap and the towels and all of that little stuff that a lot of times people don't think about. They just like try to just throw it up there like a rental. And it's like, it shows by your reviews what you do. But that's what I would say. I know that's a long ass answer, but
yeah, we're about to go to the chat in a bit and flash questions up. So if you have questions, put a Q and a colon. I'm going to flash it up on the question and answer screen. Oh man, we got a lot of people in the building. We got Kings and Dreams. I watch you on
Kings
YouTube.
And Dreams.
We got Big Bazz Life in the building. We got Keith Jenkins, another favorite.
Wait a minute. First, I gotta give a shout out to King and Dreams, man. I love that guy. King and Dreams, he always sends me links when he's doing something. He's always been supportive. That's what I mean by helping each other. Kings and Dreams is always consistent in terms of being who he is, man. So I can't wait to see his channel get to where he wants it to be, which it will be. Just got to stay at it. But yeah, shout out to King and Dreams. But Keith Jenkins, man, he's the all-star. Like, everybody loves Keith Jenkins because he's so generous and helping. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a good dude. He's like you, man. He, watched them bless people. But I heard that Keith Jenkins actually went on and came up. So if he comes up, Bet, let me know, man. I want to talk to
All right.
Keith.
All right, I may just drop it. I may just drop that link, but but we're gonna have questions coming up in a moment here. But before we go into the questions, Richard Mack, and I want to talk more about your investments and stuff and how you afford this lifestyle over in Thailand. I know a lot of us have that dream of living overseas. We're not necessarily retired, and we're not at that age, but we want that lifestyle and ability. So what are some of the things they do not tell you about Airbnb that you would like to share with the audience?
They don't. Who doesn't tell you?
The Airbnb does not tell you.
I mean, they pretty much tell you everything. Oh, that's another thing too. You have to have a license. Like, you have to get a license. Like, because at least in California, I know the rules are different in different states, but they're really cracking down on, because people are really abusing the system and renting apartments all over the city and just pimping out the whole Airbnb situation. So,
well, I guess just to reframe the question, what are some of the things people should know that you may not know until you're in the business, that other than the cleaning, is there any other thing that is kind of got you on the Airbnb side? Or is it really just that clean? Is it really that good of a deal? Because I know people, they're making a lot of money on the Airbnb side. I know my rentals are just straight rentals. But I'm considering going to Airbnb. But is there another got you that people should consider?
See the reason why I recommend Airbnb is because they can't squat on you. Like I did renters. I had houses and apartments in Arizona. I just went through nightmares, man, renting. And me being in Thailand and having a renter in LA and they squat or do something, it's just a nightmare, bro. So that's why I'm saying Airbnb, there's no squatting. Like you get their money, they get everybody, it's a fair exchange. So everybody gets what they get. So you're protected. You know what I mean? Like I had a situation with my dog because I have a dog that's not the most friendliest dog in the world. And but I keep him, you know, in a certain area, you know what I mean? But when he was younger, I let him loose because the lady wanted to see him. This is the first time. And he, you know, you know what I mean? And I got sued in Airbnb. There's $1 million insurance policy. So they came in and lawyers and everything and resolved everything, you know. So you're protected there. You know, that's a secret a lot of people don't know. You're insured and you're covered for any incidents that happen related to Airbnb. One thing you would know too, and a lot of people do this, some people try to get around paying the Airbnb fee and they'll rent to somebody on the side. I did that too. And I paid for it. You know what I mean? Like you gotta remember it's almost like having car insurance. You know what I mean? It's like whatever's on your policy, if you can't have your 16-year-old daughter on your policy and you let her drive and she get in an accident, you're not covered. Or if your insurance policy expires on Monday the 29th and so you get an accident on Wednesday the 31st, you ass out. So it's like you have to make sure that you stay within those guidelines. So that's important to know.
It sounds like the coverage is pretty good. You know, they step up when you have issues. So is that the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, they step up. It's a good thing. But in terms of investments, you asked me about that earlier. You know, I invest in stocks. You know what I mean? I did a little bit in crypto, but that was more of a nest egg thing. Like, you know, my Airbnb is really what's carried. I'd say 80 to 85% of the load. You know what I mean? Is Airbnb. Because there's also VRBO, which is called HomeAway. I don't just use one. There's two that I use. You could also use hotels.com. The only thing is they don't have the insurance. So that's why I stopped doing hotels.com. Because are you telling me if somebody messed up my house, I'm responsible? So they were like, you know, pretty much. So I was like, okay, I can't. I don't need to rock. I'm doing good with Airbnb and VRBO. So that's what I use. So in terms of investments, like I'm not like you. Like you're savvy and you paid off your houses and stuff. Like I wish I was in your situation. What I do, I'm just a common sense guy. Like when I make investments, when I got a little chunk of change, I invest in common sense things. I invest in things that aren't going anywhere. I know that Apple isn't going anywhere. I know that Microsoft isn't going anywhere. I know Tesla isn't going anywhere. I know Starbucks isn't going anywhere. I know what's my other ones? I know I'm getting killed on General Motors right now. I'm getting like whooped. General Motors I'm getting whooped. Ford ain't going nowhere. Google's not going anywhere. You know, so I get things that I know that are solid investments. I don't do the day trading because I'm not savvy enough to understand that. So I just put the money in there and just let it. And I've done really, really well. But you know, now everything's on a downturn, so now it's a little bit different than it was. I didn't make any money on crypto. It's up in the air with me with the crypto thing. It's just too many people got to get rich quick schemes, and it's so many different types of crypto, and which crypto's going to be the one that everybody's going to use. Like if you go to if you check out Skylar's channel, Think Smart Financials, he goes deep into crypto and he really understands it. He studies it and all that stuff. Me, I don't have enough time, so I just dipped in. I just do the main ones. You know, I do the coin. I do the which ones is it? I do 4 of them, I think. See, I haven't looked at it in so long. I don't even remember which one. I know it's the main ones.
Are you talking about the Bitcoin, Ethereum?
Ethereum, yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and there was another one. I'm losing on all 4 of them. So
yeah.
But I trust names that I know. I know Bitcoin because that's the original name. I know Ethereum. You know what I mean? Those are ones, but they got all these different ones. And who's to say which one's going to be the one? But that's like to me, that's like in America, you have 50 different types of U.S. currencies to spend money. It's like, it just gets confusing and you get lost in the sauce. So, I'm real up in the air with the crypto thing, man. And shout out to the people that do it, know what they're doing, because I know people made some good money before about 4 months ago or 6 months ago. People were doing really well with the crypto game. It's probably going to come back around, but it's a little risky for me.
Yeah, I'm more of a stock and options guy. My frat brother, Shannon Allen, he comes on the show and talk crypto. He's the big crypto guy. Crypto, I'm just too old school stocks, and I understand it, and I have a strategy to predict. So if you can predict the future and where an instrument is going to go, you're more comfortable with that. I think all of the investments are good. You just got to be comfortable with, with that investment strategy. I got a quick question before we go to the chat. We're about to go to the chat and take questions live. You being in Thailand and being remote, what are some of the challenges for managing your properties and being an Airbnb host all the way from Thailand?
Man, that's an excellent question, Bet Out of Debt. I have an angel. Like, this woman has held me down the whole time. Like, since I've been gone. Like I said, I didn't plan on moving to Thailand. It wasn't a genius move I had. I was just going to look for properties. I wasn't planning on being there. It was Gilligan. I'm telling you, I was Gilligan's Island. She has held me down, man. Because we got the dog together. She's a really good friend of mine, and we've been friends forever. And so when I was really going through it, she was there to help me. And she's just an angel, man. She takes care of my property. She speaks Spanish to the, my cleaning people, whatever. She's just kind of like, she just kind of takes care of everything, man. And she will get down on her hands and knees if something's not right. If what happened, we get an instant check-in, because you do a thing called instant check-in, where somebody can check in the same day. You know what I mean? Like, you might have a 3-hour notice. So, and if the house ain't clean, you got to get it clean. Like I said, cleaning is the most important thing. She's been known to do that, man. She's just like an amazing person. So if you don't have any, that's the reason why I haven't done Turo. Like, I wanted to Turo my car. I wanted to tour it so I can make money off of that too. But I don't know anybody reliable enough that I can trust.
Yeah,
that's going to do everything. That's the hardest part, is finding somebody solid that's going to hold you down while you're on the other side of the planet, man. It's a whole time zone different. Everything is different, man. So it's her. Like, I couldn't have done it without her. Like,
do you have to pay her, or she's just taking care of you?
I mean, we have just kind of like an arrangement. Like, you know what I mean? She was living at the house. Not that she had to. She makes good money. She's a pharmacist. She can do whatever she wants. But that's just how deep our friendship is. You know what I mean? Like, I would absolutely pay her if she needed it, or whatever we need. We look out for each other. But to answer your question, no, she doesn't even ask for money, really. You know what I mean? She's just been that person. So you don't find these kind of people in life.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing to have her in life. And that's not going to last forever. You know what I mean? So That was her this morning when you were talking. When you and I were talking, that was her that came in to walk the dog.
Okay.
She even though, she does her thing. But anyway.
That's dope. That's dope. But that's a good thing to know, Richard Mack. If you're going to live overseas and do what you're doing, you got to have that connect back home to manage your properties and look over them.
Solid person. It got to be solid. Like, you can't play no games, because it'll be a whole new headache, and they'll take advantage. It has to be a solid 10 toes down person. And how many solid people do we know in our life that we can say we can trust while we're on the other side of the world? You know what I mean? You would think family members, you would think stuff like that, but sometimes that's not the case.
And that cleaning situation, like you were saying before, I've heard other people talk about it. That's everything when it comes to Airbnb. But let's go to the chat for those who may have questions. Oh, by the way, Richard Mack, Gail at Night is in the chat.
Man, let me tell you, I know Gail's so tired of me telling her story. I know she's tired of me telling her story. Man, you don't understand how much I love Gail at Night, man. Gail at Night. You know what? Gail at Night is like a celebrity in our world. Gail at Night is a celebrity. She might not admit it, but Gail is a celebrity. When you have Gail in your chat, and the way she not micromanage, but the way she just run 5 different chat things, and I don't even need to call Gail. Like I'll turn on my thing and Gail's right there. Like Gail is just like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
If y'all can afford Gail at night, man, Gail at night, man, is like she's A1. Boss and Kings and Dreams have Felicia Jordan. She's good. Like you got these really good people that just do their thing. But Gail at night is the celebrity, man. Gail at night and Luke Hazley. I call them Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My little rap group. Yeah, Gail at night, man. Gail is the consummate multitasker. Gail can be working the whole.
I know.
Got a lot.
I'm not, but Richard Matt, I'm not gonna talk about my moderator because you might try to steal her.
You got Gail?
No, I don't have Gail. I have one that none of you guys know about. That's a super moderator.
Well, there you go. You better hold on.
But I'm not gonna mention her name like you're doing Gail and LaCaisley and because I know you. I know Bass. Kings and Dreams are in the building. You guys are.
We got great moderators. You know what I mean?
know.
It's like,
but you guys can never have enough.
You know what? To be honest, I'm good. You know what I mean? I mean, if I could have Luke Hazley, I'd be great to add her on. But it's like, nah, I got Steel Curtin. I got Leeds format. I got his moderators. I can't go. I don't really need anybody else. Don't get me wrong. I love. Oh no, and I also have International Passport, which is like Racer X from Speed Racer. You don't never see him, but he's there. You know what I mean?
Well, let's get some questions in the chat, Richard Matt. Let's see if we have some questions in the chat.
That's so pretty too.
Yeah, so
skin Gail is beautiful. Gail knows she's pretty though.
And we got comments across here from different people
Let's go.
in here, and but if you have a question, put a Q and a colon. And we'll flash you up. There's Gail at night with the shout.
There she go.
So, yeah, we have a few people in the building. I'm not sure we have a lot of questions. Any questions, just put a Q and a colon. Richard Matt would be here.
You had all the questions, though. You asked really good questions, though, bro. You asked really good questions.
To answer your questions live, we got Big Bazz. Got Big Bazz in the building, Big Bazz Life, who was playing his music earlier. So any questions, no questions, I'll go into the next segment. Let's talk about Thailand a little bit. We can go in on Thailand if there aren't any questions. Hit us in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go into Thailand, and this may go a little deep, Richard Matt. We'll try to keep it PG.
Let's go.
We'll try to keep it PG, my friend.
There go.
All right, so let's circle back and living in Thailand. Let's do that. I know the cost of living is extremely low in Thailand. What are some of the other surprising things you realize about living in Thailand that people should consider if they wanted to live overseas?
Number one is import export, man. That's where you get it. If you live in according to Thailand stuff, you good. But the minute you trying to get stuff from America, import, export, ship, any of that, that's when they get you, man. I tried to be cute because remember I was Gilligan, so so the first year of the pandemic when I was there, I couldn't go anywhere, but I'm watching all the stuff at home. I'm looking at the Black Friday sales. Oh, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get all this fly stuff, and I'm gonna bring it to Thailand. Man, I got all this Black Friday stuff. I got it shipped, and then I got my shoes. Once I realized I was gonna be there, I started getting a little bit of clothes shipped. I got a few things, my computer, a couple things being shipped. Man, it cost me $534 to send it from America to Thailand. Then when I got to Thailand, they hit me for a whole nother fee. By the time they got done with me, it was like probably $1,200 to $1,500 in shipping costs. So it cost me more money to ship the stuff that I got than the stuff I actually got. So I learned a really, really bad lesson, man, about shipping and all that stuff. Y'all better know what's going on with the shipping situation, because that's not fun. But anything you buy here, locally, you good. They just don't have the same thing. Like they have an American store called Villa Market. I'm doing an episode about that, talking about the store. Like I tell you, a box of like Captain Crunch cereal, a regular box in America, like the little skinny box is probably like $4 or $5. But here it's like $12, $13. So that's you need to play that Hell to the No song because I did it because no, the reason I did it because when you've been gone, you remember I didn't plan on being gone this long. So when you're gone, you start missing stuff from home. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pay the $13 for the box of Captain Crunch, or the $13 for the thing of Irish Spring because you kind of miss things about home. So those are the little things I did. Like they don't have Lowry seasoning salt. Me and Baz talked about that. I said, Baz, you better bring some grits.
How can the brother not have his Lowry seasoned sauce for his chicken?
Man, come on, man. But Noodle gets down though. Noodle gets down with she still gets down with what we got. But Baz was telling me because Baz in the South, so they even got stuff that we don't have in California. He talking about garlic grits and all of that. I'm like, all right, Baz, you bring all that with you when you come out here because he gonna bring some red beans. See, Baz is ready for the end of the world. Like when the end of the world happened, Baz got his water, he got his beans, rice, he got his grit, ready for all of that. You know what I mean? So if no one else survives, Baz is gonna survive an extra 60 days longer than everybody else because he's stocked up and ready to go. So, you know what I mean? But I just want to have the I want to have a taste of home. You know what I mean? But anything else about Tiny? Just stay within the rules, man. Just don't do nothing goofy, man. That's the only thing, man. Because the minute you get on some goof, I have a brother that flew out here and got into it with the what's the name people because he had the wrong passport or whatever. I mean the wrong visa, and they sent him right back, and he had to buy the ticket. He didn't get past the immigration office. Sent him back to the States, and he's out there by you in Virginia somewhere. Then he went to the embassy, did some stuff there to make sure he got his stuff right. Came back, rejected him again, sent him back again. So you got to remember, man, you don't have the American rights, and I'm American. I demand to see this. I don't know what he did or didn't do or what happened, but whatever happened, they wasn't having it. They can shut you down. An American embassy can't do nothing. We're visitors in Thailand, so we can't be arrogant and what's the word, entitled. Like we can't do that, man. It's like coming to somebody's house, man. You can't just come walking in. You got to take your shoes off. You got to be polite. You got to be respectful. As long as you do those things, which should be easy, but as long as you do those things, man, you're gonna win. You're gonna win.
All right. I think we yeah, for sure. I think we had a question a moment ago. I saw a question here. So, can you speak on Airbnb, a property you rent from someone else?
Can you speak on Airbnb, a property you rent from someone else? Can you speak on Airbnb?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And he's saying like sublet, like rented. Is he saying rent a property that he's renting? Is that what he's saying? I'm assuming that's what he's saying. Tony, is that what you're saying? You need to hit us back. Are you saying you're renting a property from someone and then you want to Airbnb that property? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we might have to come back to it, Richie.
Okay, I'll just answer it assuming that's what he's saying at the same time.
Okay.
So all rules are different in state to state, but in California, they real strict on that. Like you have to get like a written permission, and I think you might even have to get it notarized that you have permission to rent the property that you're renting. You know what I mean? Because that was the hustle everybody was doing. You know what I mean? Back, and they shut it down. So if that's the question, I think you have to get, depending on your state, I think you have to get permission. You know, unless you figure out something, a little loophole, but that's what you have to.
He confirmed it, and I just put it up in there. If you have a question, I'll pop it on that screen. Let me ask you another question, Richard Mack, before we start to wrap this thing up in a bit. I don't want to go too long. I am going to come back to the chat, so if you put a Q colon, I'll flash it up on the screen. Look, how do you deal with missing family members and leaving loved ones back home in the United States? What is the realistic mindset that you have to live overseas? It got to be tough sometimes, missing, your family, kids, loved ones. So how do you deal with that?
Well, both of my parents are gone, so that would have been the main thing that would have brought me back. My children are both grown; they're not kids anymore. My youngest is 20, going to USC. My oldest is 23, still figuring life out, doing their thing. So I did the whole, the father from beginning, from conception to birth to first steps to first walk. Like that documentary you showed, all of that is in that documentary. So, I've always been there, for my kids. So I don't feel bad. I feel like it's time that I got to live my life now, man. You know what I mean? Like, I am retirement age, and you can retire in Thailand at 50. So that's another thing too. They let you retire at 50 out here. Once again, I know I keep saying this, but I just want to make sure we clear. Once again, I didn't plan on it, so it's not like I knew I was going to be gone for 2 years. It didn't. So you don't have that mentality. If I knew I was leaving for 2 years, I probably, like I said, I'd have a whole different get down to how I would have handled things. But I just didn't know. Those are just the steps that God had for me that went. So when I plan on coming back to LA, I'm doing an episode called Thailand versus LA. I plan on coming back to LA for a minute, taking care of business, doing certain things. And then, I'm going to see my family. And then hopefully now that this beer thing is over, hopefully I'll be coming back maybe once a year, once every 2 years. It depends. But I'm trying to travel the world. I'm trying to zoom to Africa. I'm trying to zoom to Greece. I'm trying to zoom to Vietnam. I'm trying to zoom everywhere. I'm trying to take the brand everywhere I go. So we're just going to be zooming and just showing the experiences and showing what life is about, man, because traveling is it, man. That's the thing, man. It's like sitting in that little 4-corner room staring at candles. That ain't the business, man. You got to get out. It's therapeutic.
Look who's in the building. We were talking about him in pre-production. John Marshall Jones, JJ.
Hey, Jay! JJ's in the building.
JJ's in the chat.
JJ, I was telling him, it's funny that we knew each other. I was telling him how you fired me. You remember when you fired me? I'll just tell the truth. JJ fired my ass.
Yeah.
I fucking love JJ, man. Let me tell you about JJ, man. Y'all can Disney whatever you want, man. He's a solid actor, man. JJ can get out. He got chops. He's a real one too. He's a real dude. He ain't like, some fake ass Hollywood dude. JJ's a real one. Matter of fact, JJ, you got to come on my show too, man. You got to come on Zoom to Thailand and tell everybody why you fired me from editing, because I'm a pretty good editor and I get a lot of props for my editing, JJ. So you need to tell everybody. I need to know what I did. But but I love JJ, man. He's like I said, we was doing a play together when the riots jumped off. So, so that was our moment. Like we were literally doing a play at the Tiffany Theater on Sunset Boulevard when all hell broke loose. And we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, so, let me flash some of the comments. There's John Marshall Jones, accomplished actor in Hollywood, a good friend of mine, fraternity brother of mine, and JJ and I. He runs Kappa League TV. If my moderator could drop Kappa League TV in the chat.
I didn't know he has a channel. He has a channel?
Yeah, the Kappa League TV. He runs that, and then he's a Kappa like I am, and as well as JJ and I would travel to Brazil together, the Netherlands together, Germany together. JJ and I go back some 20 years. We're pretty tight. Our birthdays are a couple of days apart.
Y'all both tall.
We're both tall, 6'4".
Who's taller than you and JJ? Because JJ got to be at least 6.
I think JJ is about 6'3". I'm 6'4". And JJ tried to challenge me in basketball, and it didn't go well for JJ the first game. But then JJ kind of locked me down. But let's get back. Let's get back to where we were. People are going to want to know this question, Richard Matt, and I'm going to have to go a little in on Thailand, okay?
Let's go.
So, how are they treating us over in Thailand? Are we getting love over in Thailand? How are they treating the brothers and the sisters? And are they treating us the same?
You obviously have not been watching Zoom to Thailand. Because if you've been watching Zoom to Thailand,
I have. It's a rhetorical question for the audience.
Okay, it's a rhetorical question. Brothers get cheated extremely well, but you know what's funny though? Like another thing I love about Thailand, man, I try my best. I really try my best to not look at race. I really try my best because there's assholes in every race. including hard. So I try my best to just base people on who they are, give them the benefit of the doubt, and then do what I do. But I really like, I see like some kind of hater channels. Oh, you go to Thailand, they don't like black people. Man, that's some bullshit, man. It's like I've been living there for 2 years, and I have a bunch of subscribers, and I got a bunch of people in my chat room that's been there that support everything I'm saying. Because I don't give no cap. I don't bring no cap. Everything is all facts, what I'm saying. So when people say that, I think they look at foreigners as foreigners. They look at Americans as Americans, whether you black or white or whatever. They really look at it like that, like at least from what I see. The only thing I would see, I wouldn't call it racism. The only thing I see, like, the white boys, sometimes they get some of the baddest ones, though. I've noticed that. They be having the duns, you know what I mean? That's about the only thing I noticed, man. But they love us. They emulate our culture. This is around the world, man. You know what I mean? Like everywhere. France, I went to France. They was singing Be Humble, Sit Down in French. Like everywhere I go, we're revered everywhere except home, generally speaking. I'm not saying we're not revered at home, but we don't get the royal star treatment that we get everywhere else. So they love us, brothers. They're friendly to everybody. If you looking to settle down, I got a lot of military people on my channel, a lot of subscribers, man. You want to find a wife, you go to Thailand. I mean, you go to Philippines. You want to have fun, you go to Thailand. You can still find a wife in Thailand, but if you're looking for the traditional situation, I would recommend Philippines because they gonna die.
Very nice.
They're gonna ride or die. That's why they make good nurses.
You might get some questions related to that. I have a question from Big Brother in Life. And he's saying, what's the Muay Thai?
Muay Thai. Muay Thai is cool. I'm doing an episode. Well, actually, they have the bare knuckle fighting championship, which isn't exactly Muay Thai. Because if he's talking Muay Thai, he knows that's a specific discipline. I think they do it in Phuket. I don't see a lot of Muay Thai in Pattaya where I am. I think that's because COVID, everything kind of slowed down and stuff. So I don't know specifically in Pattaya, but I think in Pattaya, but I think in Phuket they still have it popping though. So, but the bare knuckle thing was popping. I did a episode that's going to be coming out of the bare knuckle fighting championship. So obviously there's no gloves. They just get it in. But it's mainly I don't even think they even do knees. I think because Muay Thai you get to use your knee. I think it's just striking, just punches. But yeah. To answer your question. Like I said, in Phuket, I think that's what it is. But I really don't know. I can't give you a solid answer because I haven't looked into it. But yeah, it's there. I just don't know, where there.
Yeah, Kings and Dreams just dropped a comment. He said in Colombia, they
love us. Colombia. Yeah. I want somebody in the chat or anybody like that watches this later on, like. Write in the comments and tell us where they don't love us. The only thing I've heard is China. Everywhere I've been, like it's never been a problem. Like
yeah,
Canada, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Thailand, Philippines,
Germany,
Spain, England, Germany. Where else have I been? Monaco. Everywhere. Italy, like it's like I've never seen it where it's a lot of hate. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I haven't been to China, so I don't want to put that on China. I had a really nice owner when I was renting my apartment in my condo in Pattaya. Very nice person, man. That's why I say I just base it on the individual, not the whole race. It's hard for me to do that.
Yeah, and we got Keith Jenkins. I missed this earlier. Yeah, Keith Jenkins.
Keith Jenkins. Shout out to Keith Jenkins. I gotta ask the Keith Jenkins question.
Yeah. First of all, he says, how much do you need to travel to Thailand for 1 week? What's the estimate?
Okay, now by him saying that, that's a rookie question because I know Keith Jenkins ain't been out nowhere because you cannot Keith Jenkins.
You can't go to Thailand for 1 week. What is he talking about?
You can't.
Going all the way there for 1 week. Keith Jenkins, what are you thinking of?
It's a day flying each way. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna start dancing when you put that on. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Keith, you can't do it for a week, bro. You gotta you got to remember you got 2 days of flying, 1 day there, 1 day back, and then you got an adjustment day just to get used to the adjustment. So you got to knock out 3 days just for that. You know what I mean? So and then by the time you get the swinging thing, after you got 4 days left, you got to leave. It's just not worth it. You know, you gotta. It was a friend of mine, man. He was a friend of mine that told me about it. He said, you got to do it at least 3 weeks if you can. And he's right. But if you say the minimum time I got to go, 10 days to 2 weeks, like 2 weeks if you can, 10 days is like.
Yeah, 10 days minimum.
If you do 10 days, you at least you got 7 days to get down. You know what I mean? But yeah, I recommend 2 weeks and up if you can, because you just want to get the sense of what's going on. And what I also do better out of that, if I travel that far, I got to go somewhere in that region, because I ain't gonna come all the way over here and just go to one place. Like that's how I did the Philippines and Thailand. I went to the Philippines, a 3-hour flight, 3.5-hour flight. So why wouldn't I go to the Philippines if I'm already in Thailand? Why wouldn't I go to Cambodia and Vietnam? That was the plan. And now they're opening back up. So eventually I'm gonna hit up Cambodia and Vietnam as well. But yeah, you want to try to hit. And when you're in that area, you want to hit everything you can, as many spots, so you know what you like. So when you come back, you know, okay, I like this better than that. And you've already done the crash test dummy stuff. You're already good. So that's my suggestion. Keith Jenkins, can't do a week.
Yeah, can't do a week, dog. Ask any traveler, like going even to Brazil. You got to go.
Yeah, even Brazil.
Whew, I've been to Brazil 4 times, my friend.
Hey, I meant to say something too. You told me you and JJ went to Brazil.
Yeah, we went with JJ and I. We went to Copacabana, and we were roommates, and yeah, we lit Brazil on fire. It was like 10 of us on the trip.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But see, I got something that none of y'all got. When did you go to Brazil?
I was around 2007-ish. It was way like 15 years ago.
Okay, so you know about Club Help.
Of course I know about Club Help, Mia Pataka, The Balcony. I know about La Omas, 4x4, Barbarella's.
Okay, I'm gonna do a Big Bazz. Wait right there.
Uh-oh. I think Richie Mack is going to get something special for this broadcast. Uh-oh. He got the Brazil shirt. Oh, the Club Help shirt. Oh.
Ain't nobody tell me.
Yeah,
you gotta be an OG to know about Club Help.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a classic. For those who used to go to Brazil back in the day, Club Help, the YouTube land knows what it is. The travel group knows what it is. Yeah.
Club Help.
Yep. And then you go over to the balcony or down the strip, and then you sit out in front of Mia Pataka, right in front of Help, and Atlantico beside it. They have those nice steaks. Man, I mean, I've traveled all over. I've been to over 30 different countries. You know, my job, I travel a lot for my job. So, but those type of things, you know, it's just on the strength with the fellas. Any comments, though, before we wrap it up? I don't want to go too long. I do want to give people an opportunity to comment and ask you questions, Richie Mack. I'm not sure if anybody want to come up. Hit me in the chat if you want to come up and talk to Richie Mack. I'll drop the link. I'll have my moderator drop the link if you guys want to come up and just have a conversation. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look what JJ had to say. Oh well, yeah.
Sweaty booty cheeks. They got some sweaty booty cheeks in Brazil, baby.
We had so much fun back in the day on that. So if you want to come up, hey moderator, won't you drop the link in case someone want to just come up and have a FaceTime with Mr. Richard Mack, the travel OG, Zoom for Thailand.
Travel OG.
And I'm gonna start wrapping up this segment. Let me wrap it up just in case. The moderator just dropped the private chat. So if you want to come in on the panel, that's the private link, and you can come up and talk to us. Richard Mack, let's close this thing out just in case we don't have any takers. Kind of tell us some of the most rewarding parts about being an Airbnb host as we wrap up.
The most rewarding part is the money. You know what I mean? It's good, consistent money. No matter if you have a house or you rent a room or whatever you rent, you're gonna make money. As long as you do your part, you're gonna make money. It's like being an Uber driver. Like, you know what I mean? You're gonna make money. It's like you're Ubering your house. Because I used to have to tell people they didn't understand what Airbnb was. I said, you know what Uber is? Like, yeah, okay. So it's like Uber for your house. So that's you can't lose. I mean, as long as you stay with the rules and do what you do. I definitely recommend it over renting straight up if you can afford it. But if you got good tenants, see, it's a crapshoot. You know what I mean? If you got good tenants, you'd much rather have good tenants than turning things around every few days if you can afford that. But you make more money doing Airbnb in the short term rentals too. There's just a lot of advantages to doing that. So and especially if you're near something. Like, my house in LA, I'm like 10 minutes from Hollywood, 5 minutes from Universal Studios, 5 minutes from CBS, I'm near everything. So it makes it an easier rental because people want to come, when they come to California, they want to visit and they want to do all the attractions and stuff. So I'm pretty close to everything. So those things help. So no matter where you are, there's going to be some sort of attraction by your house, whether it's just the airport or it's a certain park or whatever it is where you at. There's going to be something that's near you that's noteworthy. So you make sure you play on those things. You talk about all your strengths of what your place is. You know what I mean? Air conditioning, fresh towels, clean, all of the things that that's going to attract the person, because nobody wants to rent something that's nasty and dirty. So you want to just think it's just like how if you were renting it, what it would be like. What would you want? And that you can't go wrong when you do that.
Got a question from Mr. DL Tavachi. How challenging is it to find manufacturing opportunities in Thailand? Getting things made in the U.S. is so expensive.
You can get things done cheaper in Thailand, but the quality isn't the same. Like just a regular cotton T-shirt. Like they do the polyester blend T-shirts. When they don't breathe the same as the regular cotton T-shirts, just little stuff like that, man. It goes into the thing, you get what you pay for, but labor is really cheap. So, you know what I mean? So that's how you win if you're doing a labor intensive thing, but you're not going to match the quality in the U. I don't think you can. I mean, maybe because I'm doing Zoom to Thailand merch now and getting T-shirts done. You know what I mean? So, and I'll pick up that Zoom to Thailand merch. Yeah, it's just it's hit and miss with what it is that you're doing. You know what I mean? Because I would think, because I'm so close to China and Thailand, all the electronics will be cheap. You know what I mean? And it's not like the iPhone costs more out here. The laptop costs more out here. The things cost now the little accessories you can get cheap. Those are cool. You want chargers and all that and covers, you can do that cheap. But when it comes to like main brand stuff, it's expensive. Like TVs, even back home you can get a 50-inch TV for $50. And so out here it's more expensive.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so it just it's a miss.
Yeah, how challenging is it? Another question from DL Tavachi. How challenging is it to buy real estate there to do Airbnb?
Well, there's a pro and a con, and I say this in my episode of Thailand versus the Philippines. I think when you the properties are very, very reasonable. You know what I mean? Like I was going to buy a condo on the beach, like literally a block away from the beach, in the center of everything. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, kitchen, small little living room. And they were asking like $140,000. Like, that's unheard of. You try that in LA, a condo on the beach, that's going to be 1.4 million, 850,000. Like for a little smaller, and don't even talk about New York. So I don't mean a beach, I mean in a prime area. So but the catch is you got to pay cash. So somebody like Bet Out of Debt who can drop it like that can go. I ain't gotta have it. I can tell you straight up, I ain't stop the cap. I ain't front. I ain't got it for you. But that's the catch. You know what I mean? You cannot legally own property in Thailand. They tell you can buy it under a company name and all that stuff, but if shit hits the fan, you're gonna get, there's rules, like there's laws and rules, because you got to remember, if everybody could buy properties, then they wouldn't have a country anymore. Everything would be bought, so they have to like keep it regulated. So you can't own land. Let me get that right. Probably, like, you can buy a condo because you don't own the land the condo's on. You just own the condo. You can't own the condo, but they don't really do financing for Americans. I know in Britain, I talked to a guy when I was doing the COVID shot thing. He was telling me, like, they finance in Britain or Australia. I think they might finance you, but they don't finance Americans yet. So that'll probably change over a couple of years, because they're slowly changing and progressing and all that stuff. So.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions about being an Airbnb host as we wrap up?
Misconceptions? I don't know of any misconceptions.
Okay.
I mean, you can't do no. You think you can just jump in there and just do it and not adhere to the rules and the regulations that your state provides and all that stuff. There's going to be some work you got to do, just like with anything, it's not, even like I say, even if you do Uber, like, you still got to keep your car clean. You still got to get maintenance and keep the tires right and keep the gas in it. You still have to do something, so, I don't think there's any other misconceptions.
Okay. That's fair enough.
I can think of. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
And you were saying earlier that you wish you would have moved earlier. Is that the case? Or if knowing what you know now, would you?
I wish I would have moved. I wish I would have known about Thailand 10 years earlier. I really do. I found out about Thailand from my divorce lawyer when we was in court. He's like, yeah, older Jewish dude. He's like, yeah, man, as soon as I retire, I'm going to Thailand. I'm like, Thailand? What's in Thailand? It's like, man, you can get tailor-made suits for $60, and you can do this, and the cost of living is, you could live. He told me, but he's probably a frugal dude. He's like, you can live for like $1,200 a month. I'm like, really? $1,200 a month? I'm like, wow. So, but that was 2000. That was 2011. He was telling me that. So maybe back then you could. Now, that's not really realistic. You need at least 2,000 to 2,500 a month to make to have a comfortable living.
Yeah.
Out here.
Before we wrap up, any encouraging words for those who may want to follow your footsteps, Mr. Richard Mack, Zoom to Thailand?
Yeah. Yes, man. Like my motto says, you don't have to settle. And that's not just men, it's men and women. You know what I mean? It's like traveling just unlocks so many more opportunities. You know what I mean? So especially if you can work from abroad, if you can work remotely, traveling is the best option, man. I have a friend out there, one of the brothers in Thailand. He worked. I don't know how he did it though, because he works. He works for a certain bank, and he works the banking hours of the states, and then he has all kind of business ventures going on, man. Y'all come to Thailand, check him out. He got a club called Ballers and a club called Players Club. It's a black-owned business that he does, man. And I don't know how he does it, but man, he does it. He does the thing. But the point I'm making is, there's so many opportunities, man. Y'all, man, don't sit in that matrix and get caught up. And also check out, I call them the Fonz, man. Y'all got to check out Tailor Made Dreams.
Big fan of Tailor Made Dream. Big fan.
Man, I call him the Fonz because he's so cool. He's
so cool.
Hey, man. I nicknamed him the Fonz, so that's the Fonz.
But he doesn't sound like he's from Brooklyn, though. He says he's from Brooklyn, New York, but he doesn't have that Brooklyn accent.
He don't have a Brooklyn accent. I don't know what his accent is. I think I asked him about that too. I can't remember what he said. I think because he moved around a lot. Whatever it is, he's the coolest shit. He's the coolest dude on the internet.
He's so cool. And very good channel. All of us been watching him for years, man.
Yeah. I didn't get hip to him until recently. See,
really?
I had jumped on the game. I think the first person I started watching was like the Flyboy Way. I liked him. Flyboy Way was one of the guys that I watched, and then I started watching Think Smart Financials. You got to watch him.
Yeah, I need to check
that.
him.
I love that dude. That dude's super smart, man. Think Smart Financials. You got to see him. He's he breaks stuff down so cold. Like he could be like he could be like a young Kevin Samuels. Like in terms, he don't. I mean, he cooks people, but he don't go in like Kevin Samuels. But I'm saying, but he's just so smart, man. I literally like been jocking him, like, dude, I need you to work with me on Zoom the time. I need you. He's just like so sharp and smart. But he's in the military. He's about to get out, and he wants to do his own thing as well. I think he's going to Brazil to do his thing, but. Man, I love that dude too, man. Skyler from Think Smart Financials, that is my dude.
Yeah, speaking of military, I like that guy on One Master Teacher. One Master Teacher.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, is that him?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, One Master Teacher? Yeah, he's dope.
Come on, man.
He's dope.
All the way down. He actually defended me because somebody one of the dudes got at me telling me that, see, that's another thing too, man. These dudes are so lame, man. They really think, I can't speak for everybody else, but they think I had to go to Thailand and get a woman.
Yeah, I mean, look, Richard Matt, look who you had at your wedding, like Shamar Moore.
So they don't get it. They don't know. They just.
Micah John White, you're good friends with. You're good friends with my dude JJ and all of them. Man, you did not have to go to Thailand.
That's what I'm saying. Ask JJ. Like anybody can tell you, man. Rich has never had a problem with women. Like that's. Actually, you see my wife. My wife is beautiful. To this day, she's still beautiful. It's like, shout out to my ex-wife. But yeah, man, it's like people think, he had to go all the way there. It's like, no, man, I came for peace. I love the vibe. I love the energy. I love the respect, how people respect you. Yeah, they do have beautiful women. And yes, it's not hard to in the Philippines, but that's not what it's about. It's a whole nother level when you get to a certain age, man. That's why I said I wish I was 40. When I was 40, I would have been, especially coming out of a divorce. That's the best therapy for a divorce, man. I think Thailand for a man and Jamaica for a woman is the best therapy for a divorce. That's just my 2 cents.
All right, so last question, and then I'm gonna shut her down. Any shout outs on any current projects that you're working on or things that you would like to say in closing?
Yeah, man. I mean, I got my live stream coming up. You're gonna see me wearing the same shit because it's the same. I woke up for you, bet out of debt. You know what I mean? It's like the time zones are different. But I'm gonna say this. I got my live stream coming up. Hopefully, Gail at Night will be there, and all my partners, Kings and Dreams, Big Boss, Big Bazz, Andre and Andrea. Hopefully, you'll be there. And we're going to be talking about this latest episode I did in the barbershop with the Thai ladies talking candidly and freely about, what they like and what they want. It really got down. It was a very fun episode. It just randomly happened. I wasn't even planning on this. I just went to get my hair cut and they did their thing. I'm really, really happy with that episode. And then also I got my documentary called Still Single, A Divorced Man's Journey to Understanding Women, because I couldn't understand. Like, my divorce was just like insane. Like, the shit we argued about, we could have settled that at Starbucks. Because my whole thing is, I think what I'm learning, like by watching that Heard Johnny Depp thing, something about when you break up with the woman, it makes them cuckoo sometimes. I guess because women are the ones that usually do the breaking up. But that's not how I get down. Like if I'm not happy, I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how fat. I don't care. Like if I'm not happy, I gotta go. You know what I mean? And I'll give warnings, and we'll do our things. But it's like if we're not in love, if we're not happy, or we just going through the motions, it's like I can't do that. You know what I mean? So. So I did that documentary, but I was scared because of the woman nation. They come at you and they cancel you. And then I was doing my acting thing. So I was like a little afraid to really like put out something like challenging women. Like what are y'all doing? But I didn't go in because I was, once again, I didn't want to be offending nobody or nothing, but I did it very gracefully. But I was just, and then my kids weren't the age and my wife's an attorney. It was a lot of stuff that held me back from like putting it out. But now is a new day. So now I want to put that out. It's a really good documentary. It's very strong. It's, I hope to get nominated for something. That's why another that I put on YouTube, I want to get nominated. I wanted to really make this something, put it through the film festival circuits and all that stuff. But, life happened and here we are. So I'm probably going to drop it. Only a couple people have seen it. The Fawn saw it. He's like, man, you need to drop that right now, man. That thing, you need to drop that. So I just got to go through it And hopefully I'll be dropping it, hopefully this summer sometime. We'll figure it out. But I still got to finish Thailand versus LA. I'm backed up. That's why I need help. I need editors. I need editors. So that's it, man. But man, such a pleasure. Bet Out of Debt, man. Man, I love brothers like you, man. I love just the fact of what you're doing, how professional you are. Anybody that comes on Bet Out of Debt, know you're gonna get your questions in advance, which is what I do when I do my interviews. He's gonna be completely. There's no Negro business. He's gonna be on time. He's gonna be punctual. He's gonna walk you through everything. This dude is a class act. So y'all got to make sure follow the format of what this man is doing. There's a reason why this dude is Bet Out of Debt. He definitely knows what he's doing, and I need to get some out of debt advice too, man. I'm trying to get out of debt with this damn house because LA costs. You know what I mean? So we definitely need to talk, man. But thank you, brother, so much, man, for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for the kind words. And class guy, Richie Mack, and I really appreciate having you on. Good interview. Man, and I may be on your panel later. I have to go to the e-bike shop. I'm a part owner in an e-bike shop here in Washington State. By the way, Richard Mack, I'm from Virginia. I live in Seattle.
Right. You mentioned Seattle. I've never been to Seattle. I've been all over. I've never been.
Seattle's cool.
So much. They say it's depressing because it rains so much. Is that true?
Yeah, it rains a lot here. It's kind of like a drizzly rain, but you come out here. I own an e-bike shop. We can I can open the store and you can rent some bikes and we can e-bike around on the Burt Giltman Trail. We can hang out if you're ever out here. But I don't want to go too long. Let's wrap it up. This has been the Bet Out of Debt Show. We call this show the Bet Out of Debt Show because when you place a trade, it's called placing a bet, which is a metaphor for investing. And hopefully it's a winner one to keep you out of debt. And as always, keep investing, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Get the likes up, share, and subscribe.